The United States of Trump. Hi, this is Eric, and you're with Lifestyles with Eric. Happy Sunday. I'm trying to be as positive as possible, but unfortunately, I'm not seeing any positivity. The only thing I'm seeing positive is that protesters are speaking up for unarmed black men, and I hope it works. But I'm not happy with the military style tactics that the police are using to administer order in different states and cities in the United States of Trump. Every day, this is starting to seem like a dictatorship, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Not at all. I'm really not liking this. A 75-year-old man was pushed down in the streets or on the sidewalk in Buffalo, New York. And hey, Angela. Hey, Gwendolyn. And I normally don't tear up or have any kind of emotion for stuff that I see on the news, but all I could think about was somebody's father, somebody's brother, somebody's uncle or grandfather that was being pushed down and cracked his skull and was bleeding. And the police just walked over him and kept doing what they were doing to give order, I guess, in Buffalo, New York. They showed no empathy, no sympathy, no compassion for this elderly man who lie in the hospital right now in critical condition. We don't know if he's going to make it or not. The officers were suspended. I guess the two officers were suspended, but they should have been fired immediately. So again, we need to go back and redo the whole policing system, everything. Um, it's really starting to get to me, and I know I'm not the only person that it's getting to because I am black and or African American, and this has just got to stop. People have the right to protest nonviolently. If they're violent and they do with something to break the law and they get caught doing it, then let the penal system or judicial system um, do something about it. Hey, Levi, what's going on, Levi? Happy Sunday. Salute. Thanks for coming in, man. Just kind of venting a little bit about what's going on in the state of Trump. Um, yes, that was bad. They all need to be fired and convicted. Absolutely, Gwendolyn. Those officers, I've never seen. Here's the thing: I've never seen. I'll be 48, and I've never seen anything like this in my life. I didn't grow up in the 60s, so I mean, I know that the police do different things, different tactics and stuff like that. But hey, story time. Thank you. Welcome. But I've never seen police just not have any compassion, especially for women and men right now, women and old people. It seems like the police are becoming more militarized. And excuse me. And why? Because of our commander in chief. Because he said pretty much all out war on people that are protesting just to do a photo op in Washington, D.C. with a Bible, which actually symbolizes something. So we really need to watch out for different things that are maybe to come. Um, this is we're in some unusual times, and I don't want to be in a dictatorship or under martial law, or are they testing us out with this curfew thing? That's another thing that I'm not happy about. A few bad apples, you couldn't tell me, is going to make a whole city shut down by a certain time. I've never heard of that in my life. Never seen that in my life. So I'm thinking, are they planning something for us or what? They're telling us what to do when they want to do it, and you better do it or else. That seems like something off a movie to me. So I don't want Big Brother telling me what to do when I can do it That's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I pay taxes for, and that's not what's in the Constitution. And if the commander in chief decides to suspend the Constitution, we really better watch out then. Excuse me. Yes, I absolutely do. I have an email. I do story time. Yes, yes. Man, I was doing that yesterday, Levi. Actually, I actually cooked some fish dinners yesterday. You should have you should have hollered at me yesterday. I was selling fish dinners yesterday, actually. Yep, I sure was. Yeah, man, the world is fucked up. It is. We just better watch what we got. Try to keep you some weapons if you can, because you just don't know what's to come. Something's going on. And I don't know if it's a race war or just something. I just feel like something's going on. Just remember what I said. Everybody be more aware of what you see and what you hear. Don't believe everything you hear either. Don't believe everything you hear. Gwendolyn said, I read that the KKK are planning. This is far from over. Yeah, I agree totally. So I don't know, everybody. We just have to pray that at, uh, some good change comes with the murder of George Floyd. I hope some good change comes. I hope that definitely some police reform comes, because we can't have officers doing what happened to him all around the country. It's been going on every year, at least a couple times a year. And then sometimes we don't get video footage or we don't hear about it, but it still happens. So we just have to be more vigilant. And if you see something, say something when it comes to something like that, especially police stuff. Here's the thing too about that is they want you to tell if you see something or say something. But if you see them doing something, they don't want you to say anything or videotape it. Or if you do say something, they're going to threaten you. So which one is it? And if they want somebody to tell on somebody, then why don't the police tell on one another when they see one of their brothers doing something wrong? Then tell on your brother. You be a snitch. You be an informant, like you want people on the regular civilians to be. Do your job. Do what we pay you to do. We pay our taxes and we want you to do your job correctly and not abuse it, abuse authority and abuse the citizens and think that you're above us, because it's not fair. And being able to use immunity, uh, some sort of immunity to murder us. It's just not fair. So we got to do better, and we got to vote for different people and vote people out of office. And that's the biggest thing that we can do is vote everybody. So please vote. Everybody, make sure you're registered to vote. We've got to get different people in place to help us. We've got to demand what we want and get it with a vote. And also stand up for yourself and not let anybody do anything to you. You have to stand up for you, and it doesn't by any means necessary. Trump has Trump has if he didn't get reelected would start a civil war. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's do that comedy, man, for sure. For sure. Text me, man. Text me. We got to get together on that, man. We need to talk. Absolutely. And story time, I'm gonna get you my email address. Inbox me so I can get you my email address, please. Trump said if he was not reelected, he would start a civil war. Everything he seems to say seems to ripple into the atmosphere, and that's one thing I've never seen before. Everything he seems to just say, little things kind of ripple into it just, and it seems to just happen, or people seem to just do what he says do. So I don't know. I don't, but one thing I am seeing is that people are protesting all over the world: Germany, Europe, Asia, with Black Lives Matter. They're not saying all lives, they're saying Black lives, because Black lives are the ones that are getting murdered, not all lives, Black lives. And I'm seeing it all around the world. Never seen anything like this. So I'm hoping that George Floyd was a good mortar, that is an angel shining down on us, that is saying that his death had to change people and make people wake up and see that black people don't just make excuses for being black. These things happen to us on a regular basis. Why don't you just leave in the comments? Just leave me a comment, and then I'll text it, and then I'll send it to you like that. If that's what you want to do, I can do it like that too. Story time. I don't think I'm going to be on here too long, but I may get back on here in a little while. I just kind of wanted to touch bases with everybody. I should have got on yesterday. I apologize, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to touch on some of the things that have really truly upset me, and that's the old man, the 75-year-old gentleman being pushed down and cracking his skull, and the police not helping him. And 57 other guys resigned from that particular position, riot police or whatever. They resigned. You're welcome. You're welcome, Storytime. They resigned from that position, but they're still police officers. But the two officers that pushed the 75-year-old gentleman down, they were released without bond, which that's kind of weird to me. But I know weird things are happening with cops. They are seeming to be getting away with a lot of stuff. But I just hope now that this was on camera too, that they don't get away with this. We've got to do something about this. We've got to change the narrative of the way police civilians. Police used to be friendly with people instead of treating you like you were a criminal before they even knew what the situation was. So, what's going on, Abandoned? Salute. Um, Police are more aggressive now. They're not as friendly as they used to be with us. They used to be friendly. They would assess the situation and they would think everybody was guilty before they started talking to them. So um, things are just changing. And again, I think it has a lot to do with our president, who is turning the police against the regular civilians. He's not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to turn the military against regular civilians. Military is for war. It's not for regular civilians. So everybody, just make sure you see beyond what you see in front of you. It's other things going on right behind you and right in front of you, but you have to see beyond that because it's deeper than what you know. I just knew that those cops were going to get dealt with by that older gentleman. Wow. Yeah, it's just sad. It's sad. But I am just I'm just amazed to see all the people protesting around the country. And that's giving me a little bit of glimmer of hope that some kind of racial injustice will create change. And this is about race, not sex, nor gender. This is about race. So that's one thing that I don't think I've seen too much of because normally they try to compare the two, race and sex and gender. You can't help the race that you're born, in my own opinion. So that's what we're talking about. Black, white, Latino, whatever other race you are, you cannot help the race you are. But black men and black women are being treated like animals and being hunted down and killed like animals. And until that stops, I will not stop talking about it. Although I want to talk about at least something positive every other day. Show you some art, show you some cooking and different things like that. Talk about some positive things going on in the world. Trump believes that it's a war against him. Sad to say, he does. And Gwendolyn and I totally agree. It's not a war against him, but in his small mind, that's what he thinks because he's a narcissist. So narcissists they think things like that when it's not going their way. So yeah, like I said, I wasn't going to be on here too long. I just want to touch bases with everybody and give a little bit of my thoughts on what's going on with the police treating protesters like they're, uh, I don't know, like they're not from the United States or like it's not we don't have a constitutional right to do protest and to speak our free mind. It, this is not the country that I'm used to, and I wanted to get back to some normalcy. I don't want to walk around with this on in the summertime like I'm seeing people doing right now. Stop riding in your cars like this. Stop riding with gloves on in your car. Your gloves are contaminated, so you're contaminating your vehicle. You cannot breathe walking down in the summertime with a mask on. If it's nobody around, you don't need a mask on. You have to breathe. Come on, guys. We don't want that to be our new normal. We got to do better. My thoughts on Drew Brees. He should have thought about what he said before he said it. He should have came to a publicist or somebody that kind of has a lot to do with his social media stuff, and then said his thoughts. This was the wrong time to say something like that. When he said it back in 2016, nobody really heard it. They heard it, but not heard it as much as they heard it now because of George Floyd's death. So for some reason, I think that a lot of people, I do really think that George Floyd's death has sparked a lot of things. Drew Brees just shouldn't have said that, but he should have spoke with somebody before he decided to open his mouth. He's about God and country, and that's the when they say stuff like that's the form of a nationalist. That's somebody that's about white men and white power, and that's it. Period. My grandfather was in World War II. He came home in a wheelchair and he didn't get the things that he was owed. His grandfathers was in World War II and they got the things that they were owed when they got back here. So black men were never promised, never given the things that they were promised in battle, in war. So we don't feel the same way about American flag as a white man would, because white men have always been free and never been in bondage. Even though black men went and stood by white men and went to war with white men, we didn't get the same in return when we came back to the United States. And that's just the way it is. Hey, George. So yes, that took me a little further than what you wanted for Drew Brees, but the Drew Brees comment is just he should have zipped his mouth and not have said that at this particular time, because this is the wrong time to say stuff like that, because I think logical white people are getting it now. They're getting that black people do have these issues. We don't make them up. When I get in an elevator with a lady, she's clutching her purse and she's white, and I got my uniform on. I'm not getting ready to steal something from her. When I go here, you're staring at me. You know, you don't speak at work. You just do this. If I say hello, you just do this. Why? That's what white people do sometimes. Sorry, that's what happens in my case. But anyway, we just got to do better on this race thing. I love everybody. I want to get along with everybody, but everybody doesn't want to get along with me because of my color, not because they know who I am. And that's it. His career will never be the same. He's broke a lot of records. He's donated a lot of money. He's got a foundation. But sometimes, just like Bill Cosby, you have to not do certain things or zip it before you can mess up your life or mess up your livelihood. Would you say story time? Because those marks will make you yeah, sicker than Rona. Please be careful. You're right. You're absolutely right. You have to watch what you say. Whether you're small time or big time. That's like me. I want to be at some point, I want this platform to be bigger. So I'm watching what I say, yet I'm giving my own opinion because I don't hate anybody, but I have an opinion and everybody has one. And I think I should be able to use my platform for my opinion. And that's it. But I'm not spewing hate in the atmosphere either. I just feel that Drew Brees should have watched what he said, because he's just showing that people don't understand the flag is a symbol. You're not even supposed to put the flag on a hat, a t-shirt, or anything. So the things that we do with the flag, we're already disrespecting it. And a lot of people don't know that. They don't understand that. They just look at it as a flag. Facts. Black folks who served in the military don't get the same treatment as white folks. They never do, and they never have been. No, absolutely not. How many players will want to play with him? You know, they say that they'll accept his apology, but right, George, you know that they're not going to want to play with him. One of the star players looks up to him. He said he looked up to him, but right now he doesn't. He's accepted his apology, but remember, he has to block for him. He has to be on the team with him. That's going to be an uncomfortable situation when they're in the locker room. How many players will? Yeah, that. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's crazy. But yeah, we'll see what happens with those comments. He's apologized twice. He just should have thought about it before he said it. You know, everybody should watch what they. Laura Ingram of one of these stations. that gave LeBron James some issues a couple years ago. She's said something stupid again too. So um, that Drew Brees had his own. He's a good guy, but he had his own opinion or something like that. Okay, he had an opinion, but don't use George Floyd's death to be disrespectful. Right now, this is not the time. The president did it because of unemployment. He said that George Floyd would be shining down on us right now, smiling down on us because unemployment is getting better, which had nothing to do with unemployment. You freaking, I'm trying to hold my composure, but we cannot be disrespectful to the dead, especially somebody that died in the hands of the person that was supposed to protect and serve him in 9 minutes or eight and a half or whatever on his neck, crushing his jugular or it taking his airways while he said, I can't breathe. I'm out. This is Lifestyles with Eric. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a happy Sunday, and I may get back with you later. All right. Thanks for coming in the chat, everybody. Love you. All righty.